Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. So we have a list format of the charm quality bonus of all heroes in season 5 Thorns of Devotion. Of course this is a very important topic because this can make or break heroes, making them meta or not. This was shared in the Yapala Discord. I'll leave a link to their Discord server in the description of this video. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. We have increases crit by 30 and critical damage boost by 30. When dealing a critical strike, enemies when one tile of the target take 20% splash damage, the splash damage cannot trigger the skill again. And this is going to be for Walker, Lenya, Rhys. So Rhys, honestly, I'm not a fan. I don't think he's going to be that good. Walker and Lenya both have their occasional use in PvP. So this is probably a PvP related charm quality bonus. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is going to be Saida, BAELRAN, and Harak. Big heroes. For the first 15 seconds of battle, reduces damage taken by 35%. That is big. After the duration ends, increases damage dealt by 45%. The first time the caster receives a fatal blow, they survive, recover 40% of their maximum health, and reduce their damage taken by 40% for 15 seconds. This is an incredibly strong charm quality bonus. Number one for PvP, that initial damage reduction is huge. And also, protection against a fatal blow, really big. And then after that, you're going to be coming back with increased damage dealt, allowing you to then, BAELRAN can solo an enemy team. Saida also has pretty good damage output over time. Harak, I don't know. Harak probably not still good for PvP, but for Dream Realm, Vela and Harak, both good endless damage dealers, and these are both pretty insane effects. However, one thing to keep in mind, increasing damage dealt is only going to apply to true damage, physical damage, magical damage. It is not going to apply to HP loss damage. It's going to have no effect. So for example, Harak, who's mainly an endless for HP loss damage, that portion of his damage is not going to be at all benefited by this increased damage dealt. But the same for BAELRAN's Supreme Plus skill, that is HP loss damage, that is not going to be benefited at all from this increased damage dealt. However, BAELRAN's true damage on his skill 2 or skill 3, when he strikes with the sword, that is going to be boosted by this increase in damage dealt. So I think this is going to make BAELRAN better, maybe Harak slightly better, and for PvP, definitely Saida, BAELRAN are going to be strong. Pretty strong. Let's move on. So we have Granny, REINIER, Pandora, Niru, Hugin. Okay, we have the REINIER, Niru, Hugin. This is probably going to be a strong charm quality bonus. Increases range damage by 25%, execution by 20, and penetration by 20. For the ally, place one tile behind the caster. This one, increased range damage by 25%, that is strong. Like just raw damage increase, that's going to help Shamira. That's going to help any range damage dealer, of course. This is a powerful effect. The penetration as well is going to help heroes who mainly have predominantly physical or magical damage. True damage is not going to get a benefit from penetration. Execution is good in even pre-endless bosses when the bosses have a fixed amount of health. When they're less than 50% health, this is going to boost your damage dealt onto them. For PvP, this is also good. Interestingly, Granny and Pandora having it. This is really good to have on Pandora because Pandora in the previous season didn't have any buffing charm quality bonus. Now she does. Pandora is going to be even more of a force in PvP. Granny, I don't know what they're trying to do to Granny, but this is definitely going to make Granny good for Ravage Realm in the end. Already Granny is meta in Ravage Realm and probably going to be even more meta with this in the future. So this is a good one, but for range damage, not for all forms of damage. That's an important distinction. Then next up, we have healers, Hewynn, Smokey, Gerda, Lorsan, VELARA, Ludovic. Oh, VELARA and Ludovic. Increase the caster's healing by 30. When healing or shielding an ally, increases their attack by 14% and their physical and magical defense by 14%. These effects last for 8 seconds, unstackable. This is strong. VELARA, of course, you're going to be using in Dream Realm. I don't know, I can't even remember exactly what type of healing VELARA had. I think it was from her magic circles. If she can provide more 14% attack buff to all allies from this, that's strong. That is really good, gonna make VELARA even better for Dream Realm. Ludovic as well, gonna make him stronger to buff up other allies. I'm assuming this can even buff up himself with this. I'm not sure. Either way, yeah, Ludovic, VELARA, we're watching. The other and Smokey as well for Dream Realm. The other hero is not really so meta. But yeah, next up, we have SINBAD, Valka, Odie, Korin. So SINBAD, most interesting here. At the start of battle, increases the caster's attack speed by 60. After 30 seconds, increases their normal attack damage by 35%. After 30 seconds, okay, after 60 seconds, the caster gains 35 penetration. This is fine. Attack speed increase obviously is going to allow you to get off more damage. And for 30 seconds, after 30 seconds, more normal attack damage. And then after that, more penetration. SINBAD is always sometimes meta for Dream Realm. I think this is a pretty solid charm quality bonus for him. And especially for long, like 90-second fights like Dream Realm. The other one's Valka, Odie for Ravage Run, pretty much. I'm not expecting much more out of them, honestly. Next up, we have Salazar, Lyca, Scarlita, Bonnie, Damian, and Sonja. Oh, Bonnie and Sonja. When dealing damage to an enemy, deals an additional amount of attack damage once every 6 seconds per enemy. Not looking great. Also deals bonus damage equal to 15% of the target's lost health, capped at 200% of the caster's own attack. So this is just going to be raw damage. Bonus raw damage when dealing damage to an enemy. And this is probably going to be best for AoE damage dealers, like Lyca's ultimate, Bonnie's ultimate, Damian, not really great. Yeah, so I think this is probably just going to be a PvP related, charm quality bonus. For Dream Realm, it's going to be a bit of bonus damage every 6 seconds, but not really make or break. Next up, we have Dionel, Lily May, some hyper carries, Indris, Bryon, Marilee. Every third normal attack deals bonus true damage equal to 5% of the target's maximum health, but it will be capped at 130% of the caster's own attack. Each time this triggers, increases the caster's attack speed by 50 for 5 seconds. I think the attack speed is actually the more interesting thing. But like, this is every third normal attack dealing bonus true damage. You want this on a hero that has a massive attack speed. And Indris is one of those heroes. Honestly, this looks like a pretty good effect for Indris, who's going to be attacking rapidly. Like, Lily May is probably going to be in Rainstorm Ballet, not triggering this that much. I don't think her Rainstorm Ballets actually count as normal attacks. There was something about that, but that was like proccing her own kit. I don't know if her Rainstorm Ballets count as normal attacks. Dionel, his attack speed is pretty slow, so this would also boost his own attack speed by 50, which is good. I think, yeah, pretty interesting charm quality bonus, definitely. Indris is one to maybe watch out for, but overall, I'm still just not a fan of Indris because unless you make him unaffected, he's just going to be killed early on, and even then, it's difficult for him to survive. But yeah, assuming you can protect him, this is a pretty powerful effect for him. Next up, we have Damon, Lucius, or Shielders, Callan, Entendre. Increase the value of the caster's own shield by 20% and the value of shields received from allies by 20%. When the caster is protected by a shield, increases their... Whoa! Increases their attack by 28% and physical and magical defense by 28%. What? So it's not only increasing the value of shields and the value shields received from allies, but when the caster is oh, this is only the caster. I thought it was when, if you was giving your ally this 28% attack buff when you're shielding him up, but no, only the caster is going to be getting these bonuses. And so, like, really, it's only Damon. Damon is for some Dream Realm Endless bosses, increasing his attack by 20%. That's going to increase his damage output. That's the only thing I'm really interested about. The other heroes here, they're raw tanks. Their damage doesn't matter as much. But Callan, I mean, he does have that, like, you know, that piercing roar, his Mythic Plus ability that deals some decent damage, and increasing his attack could help that. But basically, this is just to make the hero themselves tankier with more shielding, more defenses, and then the attack for Damon Callan can be pretty interesting, mainly for Damon. Okay, next, we have Rowan, Coco, and Faye. Increase range defense by 30, attack by 25%, and melee damage by 25% for the ally players, one time for the caster. This is the really interesting thing. We have now gotten a melee damage boost from these heroes and a range damage boost from the other ones, like we saw Granny, REINIER, Pandora. So Rowan, Coco, Faye, an ally in front of them, range defense by 30, increasing their tankiness, attack by 25%, that's always helpful, melee damage by 25%. So a melee damage buff for any melee damage, whether it be for PvP or for Dream Realm. For Dream Realm, Coco will be used probably in pre-endless bosses. Rowan can be used actually in Sigmund, so like that's one thing to keep in mind. Faye, honestly, probably not, but for Ravage Realm, this is going to be good. Like maybe Faye can buff up Harak, increasing Harak's melee damage from this. Okay, next up, we have Alicet, Viperion, and Siren. So after remaining stationary for 5 seconds, that's pretty long. Like in PvP, you might be dead after that, but the caster gains 30 haste and 40% attack until they move. When the effect first triggers, the caster becomes steadfast for 5 seconds. Okay, so Alicet, Siren, they both have really high range there, and they're probably not going to be moving in the fight. and so they can get a benefit of this. But you need to last 5 seconds. You can honestly be dead within 5 seconds of PvP. That is kind of the issue. I mean, Alicent can trigger her fatal protection from fatal blow, but then she's gonna teleport somewhere. I don't know if she teleports somewhere, but allies do teleport somewhere, and then it might interfere with this effect. But anyway, 40% attack is good. And like, you know, actually what I'm thinking, oh no, this may be good for Dream Realm. Maybe Alicent might be good in Dream Realm because this 40% attack is a big buff and 30 haste. And if she's just firing off for the whole fight, pretty decent. Anyway, next up we have a lot of heroes here, a lot of tanks. Perseus is also going to be here. Perseus, Temesia, Lumont, Soren, Igor, Brutus, Luca, Xandra, Kruger. Deals 50% attack physical damage per second to nearby enemies, so like kind of like a burning effect around him, like a burning cloak type effect. Restoring HP equal to 50% of the damage dealt. At the start of battle, become unaffected for 5 seconds. I think it's really the unaffected thing. That's the only interesting thing here. The other thing, a bit of bonus damage, a bit of bonus healing. It's not going to make a big difference. But unaffected for PvP is always good. Of course, making Perseus unaffected, make him a more powerhouse in PvP. That can be interesting. Apart from that, like, yeah, I don't know much more to say here. Igor, I guess Igor can stroll out enemies with that burning damage and also unaffected at the beginning. Not bad. Okay, next up we have a bunch of heroes here as well. Ravion is here. Ravion, Iron, Vala, Athalia, Nara, Sylvina, Seth, Khafra. At the start of battle, increases basic stats by 40%. This buff decays by 4% each second until the caster assists or defeats a non-summon enemy for the first time. After assisting or defeating 2 non-summon enemies, the decay stats are restored and the caster gains a 300% attack shield. Now, for PvP, I mean, Ravion is happy to have this 40% attack buff boost right from the beginning. And then when you get an assist or defeat, the decay is going to stop and you're going to permanently retain these stats. That's really good for helping him to complete objectives with his allies. Now, for Dream Realm, this is not good. Because for Dream Realm, you're not going to get an assist, you're not going to get a defeat. There are not even any summoning bosses in this rotation for Season 5 of Dream Realm bosses. So, like, he's just going to decay down to 0%, and then that's useless. So this is a very bad charm quality bonus for Dream Realm and PvE content, for like boss content. But for PvP, this is a strong effect. So for Ravion and Athalia, for PvP, they're happy, sitting pretty, but for Dream Realm, they're not happy with this. This is not good for them. For Dream Realm. Okay, next we have Lucy, Arden, Tassi, so mages, Cisia, Kulu, Hodgkin. Damaging an enemy increases the damage they take by 12% for 5 seconds. Wow, okay. For each enemy affected, reduces damage taken by the caster by 5%. If at least 5 enemies affected, also increases the caster's attack by 25%. What? For each enemy affected, reduces damage taken. Oh, the caster is going to become tankier. So if you can apply this to all enemies, you can have up to 25% damage reduction. And then if you affect all 5 enemies, you're also going to increase caster's attack by 25%. And all these enemies are going to increase their damage out by 12%. This is actually strong. This is actually strong. Even for Dream Realm, I don't know if any of these heroes are good for Dream Realm, not really. But like, this is a good, like, 12% bonus damage taken. It's good for boss content. For PvP, of course, it will be good. Can be good for AFK stages. And as soon as you can apply this to 5 enemies, you're really in a good shape with a attack buff and also damage reduction for that caster. So Kulu for PvP, of course, and she can also apply this pretty easily. She has multi, like, AoE damage. Tassi also, this is good for Tassi. I like... And this is actually pretty nice for Tassi. Good effect. And she's strong in PvP. The other heroes, I don't know. Lucy probably just for AFK stages. Maybe Arden as well. Next up, we have Thorin, Shakir, Theodore. Some more tanks. Fresto, Twins, Almas, Mikola. Every 5 seconds, increases attack by 20% and life drain by 20 for allies within 2 tiles. What? Twins are going to have this buff? Whoa. These effects last for 5 seconds. Unstackable. For each non-summon ally affected by this skill, the caster gains a 30% attack shield. Okay, so Twins looking happy for Dream Realm. Just stack everyone up within 2 tiles. You're giving them 20% attack and 20 life drain. That is strong. Almas for AFK stages for PvP. Mikola as well for Dream Realm. Good effect, but you cannot stack it with the Twins. And Twins are kind of just like an upgraded version of Mikola. Theodore also for PvP. Interesting. Shakira as well. It could even be for Dream Realm and PvP. And then Thorin. Really nice, actually. Twins are really happy with this. Yeah, that is a strong effect. Okay, next up. Cassidy, Shamira. Ooh, Shamira, Taylene, Natsu, Atalanta, Pheromore, Pang, Valen, Pheromore. Increases non-normal attack damage dealt by 40% to Shamira and gains an additional 30 crit damage boost and 30 life drain. Shamira already running the Butcher's Charms to give her that crit rate. What? Shamira 40% boosted non-normal attack damage, which is her ultimate, and gains an additional 30 crit damage boost. Shamira is going to be staying as the top damage dealer for this season. I'm pretty much sure about that. That is great for Shamira, also for Pheromore. Really strong for Shamira, though. Okay, next up we have Carolina and Citrana. Carolina, Citrana, only 2 heroes. When attacking an enemy, increases damage dealt by 10% for each stat debuff on the enemy from a different caster. Also gains 10 energy. Energy gained from the skill is capped at 100 energy per second. But I think this is only going to be the caster's damage. Increases damage dealt by 10% for each stat debuff on the enemy. I think that is... Is this only the caster? It has to be, right? Otherwise, that's just broken. If it's like, you know, increase your whole team's damage dealt to that target by 10% for each stat debuff on the enemy, that's just broken. I think it's just the caster's damage, which would be either Citron or Carolina. But this looks pretty strong. Also that energy recovery, but really that increased damage dealt. Citrana for PvP looking even better. Carolina already is not really meta for PvP. I don't think this will make her meta, but Citrana already solid for PvP. Seems pretty interesting, increasing her damage, like her damage ticking per second, which can be pretty decently high. So that looks good. Then next up we have Cryonaya, Elsa, Parissa, Muriel, Dunlinger. Oh, Dunlinger. Increases the energy recovery rate by 24%. Even Cryonaya, when casting the ultimate, increases damage by 28% for 10 seconds. Increases damage by 20% for 10 seconds when casting their ultimate and deals 140% attack magic damage to all enemies. For the first time the caster's energy is maxed, removes all dispellable debuffs and becomes unaffected for 5 seconds. Okay, Cryonaya. Yeah, Cryonaya is happy with this. 28% boosted attack for 10 seconds when casting their ultimate. Boosted energy recovery rate. Immediate instantaneous attack damage to all enemies, which is going to be high with her when she enters her frozen domain. She has that attack buff. Pandora can also further attack buff her. Yeah, Cryonaya is going to be a beast. Removes the dispel of a debuff. And Dunlinger, I mean, the thing about Dunlinger is he doesn't care about the attack buff. He doesn't care about that damage. I mean, the damage can be nice, but the energy recovery can allow him to cycle his ultimates. And for the first time, the caster energy is maxed and removes all dispellable debuffs. That can be useful for Dunlinger. Now, finally, we have the final ones here. Burial, Zany, Floribel. Increases attack by 18% and physical and magical defense by 18% for both the caster and their summons. Now, the problem is, Zany summon is only her gun... is her small gun, like little robot, you know, that thing that she summons later in the fight. The towers that she has, the turrets, those are not considered her summons. Those are individual heroes, so I do not believe those are being buffed, and that is problematic. Like, poor Zany. Rest in peace, Zany, and rest in peace my investment into Zany. This is not, honestly, for Zany is not great. For Floribel, I mean, already Floribel is looking crazy potentially in the Wilder faction because there's a summoning mechanic in the Phantomal. Like, summons can get more snowballs fired off. I don't know what to expect about Floribel this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if Floribel has some usage somewhere. But anyway, for each active summon, the caster gains an additional 10% attack. I mean, that's good for Floribel. Not so good for Zany, who only will have one summon, up to a max of 40% attack. After a summon has been on the battlefield for 10 seconds, it gains an additional 30 haste. Zany, this is not good for you, Zany, unless somehow her actual placeable towers are counted as her summons, which they should not. Like, Fresro's illusion doesn't count as his summon until he actually dies and resummons it. So, Zany, oh, this is not, I wanted something better for Zany. So, Zany might not be very meta for anything this season. Anyway, guys, that is gonna be it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. I think this was a really good overview to get a taste of what type of charm quality bonus heroes are gonna have in the upcoming season. Let me know which ones you're the most excited for. But anyway, guys, if you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, please join that. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Firelight store. There's a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.